Hey guys, Frankie and Kate down here at RBT Hawthorn. Today guys, we're going to be running through the benefits of using an infrared sauna. So basically before we start, I just want to clarify guys that when you're looking at sort of your own sort of personal fat loss journey or your body transformation journey, the biggest thing you want to focus on is making sure you're A, hitting your training, and B, you're hitting your nutrition. Now if you're smashing those two things, this is just basically another tool you can add to your tool basket basically just to sort of further your results. Okay, so firstly these are five individual things of why you should be using the infrared sauna. So the first one we'll start with guys is detoxification. Now using a conventional steam sauna, the sweat is contains roughly about 2 to 4% toxins, whereas the sweat induced from an infrared sauna is up to 25% toxins. So you can see you can lose a lot more toxins through the sweat in an infrared sauna when compared to a conventional steam sauna. Now, while that's relative, detoxification, rather than being overly toxic, can limit results for a number of reasons. One of the reasons is that when your body's toxic, it will store fat around your internal organs, just to sort of provide sort of a physical layer of insulation around your organs to protect them. So the more toxic you are, the more likely you're going to store fat around that particular region. So getting rid of that toxicity can help lose that fat. It's also going to prevent plateaus. So especially if you are quite lean already, you're looking for that last stage of fat loss, that's definitely a factor to consider to really take you to that next level. That kind of puts us on to our second point, which is about cortisol management. Now that's a stress hormone, guys, so the more stressed we are, the more cortisol our body is going to produce. Now cortisol is a fat storing hormone, so the more stress we have, the more cortisol we have, therefore the more fat we're going to store. So basically, toxicity is a form of stress, it's a chemical stressor on the body. It also puts a lot of stress on our immune system, which Kate's going to explain a little bit later, but that also causes more cortisol production. So the less toxic we are, the less we're going to be producing cortisol. So it's a simple way just to reduce that load on our body to prevent, obviously, excessive cortisol, therefore unnecessary fat storage. Point number 3, guys, it's going to basically help deal with muscular soreness. It's also increased the timing of injury reduction. So if you do have a soft tissue injury or if you are particularly stiff and sore from training, it's a really good way of managing that. It increases blood flow to the area of soreness. That helps bring nutrients to the site, but it also helps removal of waste products and byproducts, which can sort of lead into sort of further soreness or residual sort of soreness. So it manages that as well. Obviously, with that increased blood flow as well comes with warmth, and that also leads to it actually relaxes the soft tissue structures. So your muscles, if they're really stiff and they're tight, it'll actually help create length and actually relax them a little bit.
Great, so following on from Frank's point there about better immune function, the sort of removal of those sort of toxic products and having better circulation, as he's already sort of touched on, will mean that we have less sort of stress or load on our immune system as a whole. So a couple of points go with that sort of point there. Number one, we're less likely to then get sick, which means we can obviously train better in the gym, we should have better energy levels and be able to sleep a bit better. And number 2 is there's actually quite a few studies that have sort of linked better immune health or better immune function to having a better or more optimal body composition as a whole, so less likely to store fat. So that's a good point there. Lastly, I guess point number 5 is mood improvement. So we all know what it's like to go on holidays and be out in the sun and get that sort of serotonin going, those feel-good hormones. So the heat from an infrared sauna can actually sort of induce this same release of serotonin. So it can improve your mood, guys, which is obviously very important. We like to feel good. So it is another reason that probably not as much from a physical point of view, but from increasing your mood is great for everyone. So just in conclusion there, all these points obviously are reasons why the sauna can help you. Again, just to make sure that we're all on the same page, first and foremost, we always want to make sure that we're A, looking at our nutrition, and B, our training as the first points of call. The sauna is just another, the infrared sauna is just another tool, as Frankie mentioned, that we can add to our toolkit that might help us with that sort of last little % of body fat once we've sort of had those nutritional interventions that might not be working if we've hit a plateau, things like that. So that's important to remember, guys. Always look at your nutrition and your training first, but do sort of use the saunas. We do have them at most of the RBTs, so get around it.
Thanks, guys.